What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and in this video I'm going to be continuing my overpowered level 8 Sniper Zer0 playthrough. In the last episode we rescued Roland from the Bloodshot Stronghold, and then we kind of traveled to the Tundra Express upon his information to find his intel guy, who's going to have some information that should help us on our travels to, defeat Handsome Jack. And so here we are in the Tundra Express. He's going to tell us to light some varkets on fire in order to wake this guy up. There is a tinderbox in that snowman if you need it, but we don't because we have the Fire Pimpernel, which does have an excellent chance to light enemies on fire. And so that should work out pretty well for us. Obviously, after we light these varkets on fire, we're going to have to go meet Tiny Tina. And so I'm just going to travel vaguely in Tiny Tina's direction here, which takes me through a varket patch. I want to gather a few of these varkets up using my deception before they all pod up, and then I'll be able to hopefully light a few on fire at once, and then that will, wake Mordecai up. And Mordecai was a playable character in Borderlands 1. He excelled with both snipers and pistols, and that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I thought in Borderlands 2 they kind of overplayed his alcoholism, which is a trait he did not even have in Borderlands 1. And I found that to be a little bit irritating and just kind of unnecessary and stuff. But I'm trying to scoot my chair up a little bit here. They did kind of recall that in Borderlands Headhunter Pack, the Son of Kromarax DLC. That was weird phrasing there, I apologize. But in the last Headhunter Pack they released with Son of Kromarax, they did go ahead and kind of recall his alcoholism a little bit. He was trying to get off the booze, or was off the booze rather, in order to raise his new Bloodwing, which he calls Talon, because obviously Bloodwing passes in the story, spoiler alert. These particular little sea mines here don't do anything. They are kind of only effective on the player when the player is extremely low level, so obviously at overpower level 8 they don't really do anything, and it's kind of funny because you can just kind of stand on them and they don't do anything to you. So here's where we get introduced to Tiny Tina. There was a great deal of controversy surrounding Tiny Tina, which some of you may remember, early in Borderlands 2's life cycle, where people were arguing if Tiny Tina's characterization was inherently racist. And I thought all of that was a little bit nonsense. I didn't find her to be racist at all. We're going to talk to her right quick. She goes through a little scene here where she shows you a couple stuffed bunnies and asks you to go get their badonkadonks. But we're going to just go ahead and run away here because we don't need to wait for her to show us those, and we'll go ahead and get going on towards the missiles or badonkadonks she's going to have us pick up for these bunnies. We'll go ahead and kill this guy right quick. That will give us a follow-through bonus for extra speed as we run through this particular bandit camp. And you don't have to run through this bandit camp, I just choose to because it gets us to the back of the next bandit camp a little bit quicker. I don't recommend running on that train track right there because it's possible that a train will end up running you over. But I do have to jump over it here in order to get to this hill. And just kind of make sure you don't get run over as you do that. So I've never really done this part with Sniper Zer0, but I know that there are quite a few bandits in here. And there's also going to be some buzzards as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the buzzard, or at least one of the buzzards. I think a few will spawn actually. And some of these bandits as well, because there could be some tough bandits in here. And usually I just kind of, chain a follow-through, or not follow-through, mini must fall, as I work through this area. And since I don't really have that luxury playing Sniper Zer0, I'm going to eliminate at least a few of these guys before we move into this area. And have less cover, and they'll flank us a little bit better. And I think that that will be prudent. It's probably not necessary, but it's not going to hurt anything either, so might as well. Because with enemies shooting at us from all directions, we could, end up dying, which would be bad. We don't want to do that. So, I definitely want to make sure there are no imminent threats, i.e., Goliath blasters or heavy nomads or enemies with damage over time weapons, because those could always be potentially deadly for us. So we'll just kind of make sure that we're going to be in good position to deal with these enemies and stuff. Alright, so there's going to be one Badonkadonk right here. Usually this is the one I grab second, but because I'm playing Sniper Zer0 and I don't have Mini Must Fall, I'm going to grab that first. That way I can then pop down here and grab this second one, and then exit this little area and get moving on towards Tiny Tina a little bit quicker, because that's where we're going next. Make sure that we don't get squished by a train again, and also that we don't run out of bounds. So that got us out of the bandit camp fairly quickly. Never really done that before with Sniper Zer0. I played it a little bit cautiously, probably overly and needlessly cautiously, but that's okay. We're headed back to Tiny Tina now. I might try to pop a Varkid on the way in order to gain a follow-through bonus if one spawns in front of us, but they're all kind of spawning behind us, so I don't think it will really be worth it. Going right or left here, it's probably 6-1, half a dozen the other, not a big deal. We'll go to the right, and then we'll give these rockets to Tiny Tina so that she can craft the bunny rockets for us in order to blow up the train, which will send us on to Wilhelm. I'm debating throwing on the crit machine and getting extra stacks for Wilhelm, just because I think it would be kind of funny to blow him up, but I don't know. It doesn't seem necessary at all to me, so we probably won't do that. We're just continuing on here. We're almost back to Tiny Tina's garage. I don't think it's necessary to kill either of these Goliaths, but maybe I'll kill this one. Alright. Gives us a little bit of a follow-through bonus, and we'll have less people shooting at us as we're in here in Tiny Tina's garage. One kind of cool thing about Tiny Tina's workbench here is that she has two motherboards that it looks like she's using to program these remote control things on the Dynamite. These are old motherboards here. They have serial and VGA, or at least representative of those connections, which are obviously outdated. That might have even been representative of a parallel port, I'm not sure. We'll go ahead and kill these two little dudes while Tiny Tina is crafting these bombs for us. You can't really see what she's doing, but you can see some welding sparks and stuff in there. Ordinarily, welding wouldn't be something you would do to a bomb, but Tiny Tina does things a little bit differently. It'll be interesting to see if Ashley Birch stays on with Borderlands 2. She is, or Gearbox rather, not Borderlands 2, but Gearbox in general. She is the voice of Tiny Tina, and obviously her brother has left the company in order to go work on another project. So it'll be interesting to see if she stays with the team. Alright, so we're going to take these rockets over towards the place where we launch them off to blow up the train that is going to be crossing these tracks, and that will gain us access to Wilhelm. So that's the plan, and that's where we're going. And then I guess, since the Wilhelm fight's going to be pretty easy and stuff, after that we will go ahead and have Sanctuary take off on us, and then run through the fridge before I cut this episode off. So we'll set these here. It doesn't look like these dudes are noticing us, so we're not going to engage them. It's important that you don't stand right here if you don't want to get squished, or right, here if you don't want to get squished either, because there will be a train car that comes and squishes you over there. I've actually died right there before. And you can also get squished by this thing as well if you're standing like right there. So those will be a couple things to watch out for if you don't want to get squished. If you do want to get squished, go ahead and stand there. You'll see that train car will kill you, and so would that thing if you were standing in the right spot. But we were standing out of the way, and so we're going to be moving on to Wilhelm now. Now, I guess for this particular part, I will throw on the Corrosive Lyuda and a Corrosive Bone of the Ancients. And we'll get a few stacks as we work towards Wilhelm. We probably won't be able to get too many stacks because there aren't going to be too many loaders or anything, but maybe we'll be able to take a few stacks into Wilhelm, which will make that fight even easier. It's already kind of an easy fight, so that's kind of funny. Killing these loaders right quick. Try to get to this next batch of loaders a little bit quickly so that we don't lose all of our stacks. There'll be a couple, 3 loaders I think, that jump down here, and we'll kill them as well. Ah, man, we had Boar kill those guys for us even a little bit quicker, so we'll get even less stacks off those guys. Try to kill those little surveyors right quick so that they don't irritate us. Ooh, looks like that one has a torque gun. We don't want to die to him. Switch to the wrong weapon there. So we got a few stacks of critical ascension, not many, but a few, and we'll be able to take some of these hopefully to Wilhelm, so that should be good. Excellent. We're just going to avoid that last surveyor. There will be a few more exploders that charge at us this way. We'll be able to get at least a couple stacks off these guys, and a follow-through bonus that will get us to Wilhelm a little bit quicker. Unfortunately, Wilhelm takes a second to spawn, so a lot of our critical ascension stacks are going to tick away in this particular moment, but it's not a huge deal. We'll try to get a critical hit off Wilhelm pretty quickly so that they don't all decay, and he's kind of like a giant loader in construction and stuff, so he shouldn't be that hard to actually get a critical hit on. They hype Wilhelm up here, but he's going to be pretty easy for us to kill. Alright. So maybe we'll kill these surveyors right quickly as well. And like I said, then we'll go to Sanctuary and watch Sanctuary take off and stuff. I'm going to wait for the objective to say travel to Sanctuary here, because I've traveled to Sanctuary before. That was the objective before, and it ended up causing the game scripting to break a little bit, and I had to travel out of Sanctuary and back in, and I don't want that to happen. So we're going to go put this power core in, and this is where Sanctuary is going to take off. Obviously, the game kind of alluded to this earlier when you first got to Sanctuary and Scooter had you try to make the city fly. And now we're actually going to make the city fly with the help of Lilith, because Jack, planting this bad power core here for us is going to knock down our shield and start bombing our city. And that really gives you the idea and perception that Jack really does have the planet kind of in a stranglehold with his moon base and stuff. So we'll do this real quick and put the new one in. Excellent. And so now this is where the force field's going to drop and stuff. And we're going to need to cycle some primers again, just like we did when we first got to Sanctuary. And then we're going to pick up some iridium and give that to Lilith, and she's going to make the city fly. I thought that this was all a pretty well done scene and everything, and I wasn't really expecting it the first time it happened. I thought it looked pretty cool. One thing that's kind of neat is that these lunar bombardments that come down end up killing some of these Sanctuary citizens, and they explode kind of funny. I think that that's kind of neat. So, cycle these engine primers real quick, and then we'll go get some iridium up in the Crimson Raider HQ. And then Lilith will mistakenly teleport us out of the city, which isn't exactly ideal, because then we have to work a little bit to get back to Sanctuary, but it's not a huge deal. So, we're going to run up here, get the iridium. Cool. Now we're going to give this iridium to Lilith. She was just down here by the thing a minute ago, and then sometimes she's like, her objective is way over there, and it's kind of weird. See, she's not even here yet, but now she's here. So, it's kind of weird that they did that. I'm not exactly sure what was going on there. Here's where she'll ask for the iridium. Cool. I'll just pick this up. Just because I think it's funny to have that dialogue playing. Alright, so this is where Sanctuary is going to take off and stuff.
Sorry, kid. That was an accident. I'll see you on the other side, though, I promise. Hit it, Scooter.
Alright. So eventually we're going to travel through this gate, then travel to the Three Horns Valley, and then we're going to travel towards the fridge. And then once we do that, we'll run through the fridge, and I think that's where I'm going to cut the episode off after that. At least that's my plan. This was a really cool scene, though, and I did appreciate this. I don't know how the motor for Sanctuary works, but it looks like, there's something going on down here. Maybe just a super large jet engine. I'm not exactly sure. But Sanctuary disappears. It was obviously an old doll mining ship, and that's explained when you go to the Caustic Caverns and stuff. Alright. Here's where Angel tells us that we need to go. And that she's actually on our side, and she's actually, you know, pretending to cross us and then crossing Jack, kind of in a double cross scenario. That's not where you get a car. This is where you get a car. For those of you who don't know, the Catapult Technical is the fastest car. If I can remember how to get to the Three Horns Valley, that will be pretty sweet. So here's where Jack boasts more about how Angel's working for him. Alright, so now we're to the Three Horns Valley. And we'll get to the fridge pretty quickly as well. There'll be some bandits that try to ambush us as we get out of our car up here. So we'll have to watch out for them. We don't want to die to them, obviously. Oops, I thought that my truck was going to go off the edge there, so I preemptively jumped out of it. We'll go ahead and let that little fellow blow himself up there. And then we'll get ready to kill this Ironclad, which will activate our killer and follow-through bonuses, and should allow us to kill these guys a little bit easier. If that Nomad wasn't there, I would have just run up those stairs, but he was there, so I didn't want to, you know, get really close to him and have him kill me. That would have been bad. Speaking of killing me, that guy has a fairly accurate and powerful gun. That's not what I need right now. Alright, transfusion grenades are coming. Now we'll go up. Oh, maybe that guy had the powerful gun. Interesting. Wasn't anticipating having to kill all of these dudes. But now we'll be safe as Angel burns through the ice covering the fridge for us. Seems like I should be able to burn through it with my Pimpernel, but we can't do that. So we'll just wait for her to burn this down. And then we'll try to run through the fridge. Before we do that, though, I am going to make sure that I have on my Fire Bone of the Ancients and my Fire Lyuda, because this particular area will have some rats and stuff that we're probably going to need to kill. Ordinarily, I, must fall chain through them and get moving on, but in this particular situation, again, I'm not going to have that luxury playing as Sniper Zer0, so it's going to be something that we need to watch out for. Go ahead and restock on ammo right quick, says we're out of funds, but we could always sell something. I do need to give in more money. Sorry, Maggie. My bad. Alright. So, usually there's at least one rat that's really nearby here. We'll kill this first one here. Oh, it's a field rat. That's actually one of the tougher ones. And then we got a plague rat as well, so a couple things we need to kill right here before we go too much further. Alright, cool. Definitely want to deal with these particular rats before we travel too far. We don't want them shooting us from behind. If we need to kill all the rats in this section just to be safe, that's really not a bad thing. Alright. Blow up a couple barrels, just preemptively. We don't want to die to those barrels. That would be bad news. Rats are some potentially dangerous enemies as a sniper because they move their head pretty violently and stuff, and have kind of predictable but somewhat unpredictable movements because they'll run around and grab ammo and stuff, and as a result of that, their backpedal is stranger than most enemies. So you can kind of figure out where they're going, predicting where the next item for them to pick up is and everything. But at the same time, it's different than other enemies and stuff, so you don't really expect them doing what they do. And because of that, it can be hard to get critical hits on these guys. Beyond that, they just have smaller critical hit spots than most enemies as well. And they hold their bodies at weird angles. Basically, they're not a great enemy to take out as a sniper. But it's not a big deal because they're still possible and everything to deal with. And they're not incredibly difficult, but it is something that you have to take into account. It's not necessary to kill any of those dudes, I should mention, and I was just doing that being cautious. I don't want to die or anything. With the Antagonist, though, we should be pretty safe here. Just preemptively blowing up some of these barrels because A couple more guys are going to spawn, and we don't want to catch those barrels and have them kill us. Threw a preemptive slag grenade there, going to try to sneak through this gate. Perfect. And then as we jump down here, we know we're pretty much safe at this point. Cool. I love that there's no fall damage in Borderlands 2. I really like that. Alright, so here we are at the Highlands Outwash, and this is where I'm going to go ahead and cut the episode off. As always, guys, I thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet taken the time to subscribe, please do so. I'd appreciate that as well. Otherwise, one more time, thanks for watching, and I do hope to catch you for the next episode. Bye, guys.